I think you have to request to join. Yes. Yay! I pressed accept, but for some reason, you're not being added. Okay, let's see.
Yay!
Oh, we got it.
Oh my gosh, long time no see.
I know, like more than a decade.
I think so, yeah.
It's Chisa, right? I said it
Yeah.
right?
Yes. I know it's different since high school days.
Yeah, I like it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
How are
Any
you?
particular reason?
Oh,
For it, or if you want, you can. If not, that's cool too.
I guess I never really liked it or felt like it was me. Well, it's weird having a Hispanic first name when you're Asian. You know what I mean? So I just started going by my middle name, which felt more natural to me. Because I think my whole family calls me that, and then I just went by my first name, my legal name, I guess, for school.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Totally makes sense.
Yeah. How are you? How are things?
I'm good, yeah. Living the life in San Diego. It's pretty nice. And kind of just tapping into more like creative aspects. I have been doing like the degrees, that sort of thing, working towards like mental health, psychology, that sort of thing. And I really enjoy it. And like I'm a creative person, so I was like, okay, like I can't lose that side of me. Yeah. So this has been a way to like connect with people. I had Juan on here earlier. Some other friends from Seattle, some other friends from San Diego that I'm meeting. So it's just a way for me to kind of build that network of creatives, as well as continuing to fuel my own motivation. Kind of selfishly, but
no, that's great. That's great.
But how about you? You're on the East Coast, right?
Yeah, so I'm in Virginia. We moved here like at the end of 2019. It's been really good. We love it here. It's nice and warm compared to Seattle.
Yeah.
Not a lot of rainy days, and it's been really it's been eye-opening living over here compared to where we grew up,
Yeah.
I like it a lot, and I think the kids really enjoy it too. We moved here because my sister lives over here, so they get to be close with their cousins, and it's just been fun every day.
I love seeing all the photos. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, picturesque, but so cute.
Yeah, they're growing up fast. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, I bet. Oh my gosh. Well, I know you're a busy lady, so we'll kind of jump into the questions and continue to connect.
Let's do this.
Yeah. I know that you played the violin. That's kind of how we met in a way and got to know each other. But for everyone else joining us, who are you and what would you say is your artistic brand?
Well, I'm Chisa Yu. My brand, or I guess like my shop on Etsy, is called Hello You. We'll play on my last name there. Yeah, so we met, in orchestra in high school. I played violin for my entire childhood. Music back then was like my, I guess, artistic outlet. But I quit that as soon as I graduated high school. Then I went into culinary school to get my degree in baking arts. And that became, I guess, my outlet for creativity. But that, kitchen life is hard with kids. So it didn't last as long as I kind of had envisioned it would. But I started this Hello You brand kind of like the peak of COVID. It was really stressful staying at home all day, every day with the kids, and I slowly started sharing my artwork through this newfound love for embroidery. I started taking some of my simple drawings and turning them into embroidered artwork. Like over time, slowly, like friends and family were loving what I was doing, and it just kind of turned it into business, I guess. Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, so it sounds like a journey from like music to culinary, like cooking, and then it sounds like drawing was always in there a little bit, and then turning that into like a brand.
Yeah, I guess it's just I have to be doing something with my hands, just kind of keeping busy like that. So.
And I love, I don't know if it's your main photo, but I think on the Instagram for the embroidery or sorts of things, I love the woman that's there.
Oh, thank you. I got that tattooed on my arm here, too.
Oh, yes. Super cute. Awesome. I guess what would you say about what you do now or even what you did earlier express your uniqueness and individuality?
All right. That's a good question.
Yeah.
And
I would imagine with music, kind of similar to me, like our parents just put us in it and we're forced to do it.
Yes.
I quit playing the bass. Like I jumped from viola to violin to bass, and then I was like, okay, I'm kind of done. Like I want to do photography now.
Yeah.
And so I'm curious, like for you, how did that impact your uniqueness?
Yeah, playing violin was definitely forced onto me. I think I was the one who wanted to play it, but over time when I didn't, it's like, no, you have to play, you have to continue this path, and I'm liking, I guess, the freedom and the creativity aspect of being able to do what I want when I want it. And I think for me, some of my drawings, I guess, or what I'm trying to convey in my drawings, they are more for my kids, especially my daughter. I want to be able to express that regardless of, the color of your skin, your size, your gender, that you're beautiful and you're worthy and that you're seen. And, I want her, my daughter, to grow up knowing that regardless of what the world says about, like, beauty and intellectual standards, especially for girls, that, she's 110% worthy. And I want I don't know. I guess I don't want her to feel like anyone can diminish that. And for me, through artwork, I feel like you can really convey emotions and, like, I guess, kind of get a sense of feeling of where this person is coming from. And I want to just convey, like, that unconditional motherly love through my art. Yeah, I don't know
Awesome.
about
And I
that.
can feel it too, just kind of recognizing how sometimes the world can be unfair and how it can try to kind of beat us down. And it sounds like, in a way, instilling to your daughter that it's okay to continue to have that empowerment and to just stay strong no matter what anyone says. And art can be so powerful sometimes because you don't even have to like talk.
Yeah.
With art, you can just show it. I mean, unless it's poetry or writing, of course. Even with that, it's like you just like share it and it's felt. Like the emotion is felt, which is nice. Come back. We're having technical difficulties. Yay!
Sorry. Okay, I don't know what happened.
No worries. It's okay. I think it was buffering. But yeah, essentially just that's awesome to be able to instill that to her through art.
Yes. Yeah. I feel like it's really important for me to establish that young for her. I mean, my kids are both still little and, so innocent and pure, but I want to, I guess just have that foundation laid out for them. So.
Very cool. Oh, I love it. Again, like I said, picturesque family. It's awesome. So I guess you kind of touched on this already. Would you add anything else to what your vision for art and your brand is?
So I'm still so new and little in this art world, but I guess maybe I'd love to expand further one day and work with other artists on bigger platforms who share the same views and ideals as me, and just continue to showcase the love, really, of what I'm trying to convey through my work. But for now, I'm pretty happy with the way things are, so it's hard to kind of think ahead.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And with art too, it kind of just evolves as we do, so it's kind of hard to see exactly what that would look like.
Yeah.
Kind of the passion.
Yeah. Like, and it changes so much with what's going on around you, like personally and globally. And just kind of, it changes your perspective in your life. So it's hard to think ahead. I'm a very I don't like to say that I'm very, I guess, what's that word? I'm like blanking. Well, I don't think things through, but
Okay.
you know, I try to just be happy with how things are and hope for the best regardless.
That sounds like optimistic, also like present centered. Like you just live in the moment and kind of no expectations to what's going to happen or how things are going to happen. Just trusting the process.
Yeah, I think when you become a mother, you just kind of have to not think too far in advance. Because it won't ever pan out the way you envisioned it to be. Yeah. So you just you kind of get rewired to think differently. Not to say that, I don't think like, 5 years down from now or how I want, how I envision my kids will be as teenagers or something. But, yeah, for most things, it's just kind of like now, worry about the later.
Yeah. I would imagine it's kind of like putting out little fires, because little kiddos can be so unpredictable. That it's like, all right, what's today? What's happening today? Okay, what are we gonna do?
That is perfect. Yeah.
At least that's what I've heard, and that's what I see from others.
No, that is literally everyday life here.
Well, I guess on that note, if you had one piece of advice for aspiring artists, what would it be?
That's tough to say, or it feels weird for me to give advice, because this is something I'm mainly doing more for fun. Like, I'm not like a struggling artist trying to make ends meet. But I would say, if you love what you're doing, to just go for it. There's no one really stopping you except for yourself. I have a lot of doubt and uncertainties and anxiety, which lead me down like this kind of dark thought rabbit hole of things that are hard to kind of crawl out of. But luckily I have like a wonderful husband and a sister who support me and kind of just help me move forward. So I feel like if you are passionate or you want to show the world something that you're doing, to just forget about all that and just do it. Like, I love that you're doing these podcasts. I think that's so great, where you just want to talk with people and showcase what they're doing alongside with what you're doing. I think that's beautiful.
And it's universal in terms of that doubt, that uncertainty, that anxiety. I would say a lot too for people in our generation of not knowing, like, okay, what do we do? Like, we've learned so much about how society's been built up, and there are all these pressures of what is expected of us, but like, what do we want to do? Like, is that celebrated? So I very much appreciate, even though you said you didn't want to give advice, your advice in terms of if you love it, just do it. It'll kind of all pan out because it means something to you.
Yeah. I mean, well, like, if you're not going to do it now, like, when will you, so much could change again in the future where you're like, oh, now's not a good time, or oh, I have time to do it later, and maybe you won't. So you just kind of slowly get the ball rolling. Like, probably things will come into place and it'll work itself out.
I love that. Okay, one last question. What unexpected challenges arose from pursuing your art and your artistic journey?
I guess, like, in the production side of things is waste. Like, waste is a huge challenge for me. If I make something that I don't think is up to standards or how I envisioned it when I go to sell it, just sits there, or I don't want to sell it with the, I guess, expectations that this is like my quality of work. So that's been kind of a challenge. I don't want to. I do a lot of, say, like embroidered shirts, and I don't want to constantly waste a perfectly good shirt just because it's not up to my standards or what I feel comfortable selling to people who are, using their hard-earned money to buy it because they see it online and they like it, and I want to be mindful of that too. So that's been kind of a challenge, but also I think more personally, the challenge is almost feeling like if it's like, am I worthy doing this? Like, there's so many artists out there, and there's so many people who are literally putting 100 hours a week into making their work seen and whatnot, and I feel like I'm just kind of doing it when I have these moments and times to set aside and work on them. So I have to like remind myself, like, it's okay to go at my own pace and do things my way, and there's not like set rules and I guess expectations from, like, it's not like a corporate world where I have to meet specific standards and whatnot. So, but it's sometimes I like lay in bed and I'm like, man, I feel like I'm half-assing this like thing I'm working on, even though maybe I'm not or whatever. But yeah, I think those are just kind of the challenges I go through more on a surface level basis.
Yeah. Kind of seeing if it's up to your standards in terms of expectations, but then also saying people are paying for this, so take it to some extent, and then in a way can bring up those doubts that you were talking about before, like, am I an imposter? Am I really an artist? Where,
yes.
like I said before, like, your mom with 2 kiddos, and like you have other obligations. Not saying that other artists don't, but your lifestyle right now, it's different. And so this is how art looks like in your life. And sometimes we can compare ourselves to other successful artists or even other peers that we talk with, and we can say, like, well, they're doing that. Like, am I supposed to be doing that? Am I doing enough? Am I not doing
yes.
And it just brings me back to like high school. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
So competitive that, like, I feel like we compared ourselves all the time, even if we didn't want to, because we had to. There's so much competition.
Yeah, and I feel like in this world of social media, it's hard to not, like, you see like the perfection but you don't see the work behind that. So you're uncertain, like, if you're putting in that, like, same amount of work or not, or whatever, and you, like, nitpick at these weird things to kind of compete with or compare your work or your life with, and it's
exhausting.
yeah, for sure, it really is. Yeah.
And that's kind of the beautiful thing about art. Like we said before, it's our own expression, and it depends on how quickly, how slow, whatever pace we're going at, that we evolve. That's how our art evolves as well.
Yes.
And we're really only competing with ourselves, and we don't have to compete that hard with ourselves.
I know. It's hard to remind yourself of that when you're so caught up in the moment. Just forget to think like that. Yeah. But I should like put it on my wall or something to just read it every day and remind
Yeah. Live in the present moment. Trust the process.
yeah. So what made you start this podcast?
Yeah, so I just graduated with my second master's in June.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I've just been focusing a lot on making my way towards like the destination profession that I have been longing for since my first psychology class in high school. And I just noticed I was starting to kind of buy into the academic rat race of gotta get this degree, get that next one, network. You have to get all your degrees before you're 40, or else you'll just lose steam and not do it. So I'm still kind of on that train, and I just recognized that a part of me was dying. Kind of the fun, creative part of myself that made me really enjoy just life and living, and not always having like a goal in mind and going towards it. I just thought it was dying, and so a way to tap in, I was like, why don't I just connect with others that I know are in some way in a similar boat, or in some way understand like the same experiences that I'm having. And as soon as I just opened up that lens for myself, or that perspective, I started meeting a lot more artists. So DJs, producers, models, people pursuing acting. I mean, I never stopped talking to Juan, but we started talking more about like artistic endeavors, and how her art is changing or evolving. And it just inspired me that like more people need to hear about this. And I'm not in it for the money. I really just want to inspire people to realize like we don't have to just focus on the money all the time. Like obviously we need it, but like we don't have to focus on it all the time. We can also just embrace life and what is trying to be shown to us. And for me, that's art. It's always been art, even when it felt forced, kind of like what we were talking about before. I've kind of come to accept that like I am an artist, and I need it in my life to kind of keep that fuel going. I love my profession, I love what I do, and I notice when I'm becoming fatigued, I just put on a movie. Like I watched this kind of bizarre psychological thriller last night, and I was just like, yes, like it just fueled me, like just kind of pumped me back up, and just knowing that I need it in my life.
Yeah, no, I get that. Resonates very well with me. That's really cool, though.
So stay tuned. We'll have other people on. Eventually, I will interview myself, so people are just like, "Who is this chick? What's her art?" But yeah, I just like connecting. I feel like I you don't live in Washington anymore. I don't live in Washington anymore. A lot of people have kind of spread their wings and continued to live their lives. And I mean, there's so much going on in the world that's kind of hard to always connect with people. And so I saw this as a way that could be established, which is really nice.
I love it. Yeah. It's so brave of you too. Like I could never. My people skills are too bad to feel like, oh, this is something I could totally do. So kudos to you, Millie. Like I'm so proud of you and happy for you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay. Well, no
hopefully
tears.
One day we'll go to San Diego and I can see you there. I've been wanting to go. I was looking at like all-inclusive vacations in like the San Diego area.
We have so many. Everyone just comes here to party. Like that's kind of
Yes.
the future of the town.
I'll have to hit you up. You're like, we're in San Diego.
Yes, please. I would love to meet the kiddos.
Yes, that'd be so fun.
And I'm not often on the East Coast, especially the South. But I do have family over there, so when I go over, I'll meet you.
Oh, yes, please do. We can always go up north, too. We're not super far from... We're, like, right smack in the middle, so it's not a... Like, we're, I think, like a 5-hour drive to New York, which isn't so bad. Yeah. So, if you're ever over there, just let me know and I'll make my way up or something.
I like it. Sounds good.
Alright. It was so good to see you and talk to you.
Yeah, I really much appreciated this time. It was really good.
Me too. It's good to reconnect with people who, you know, were really impactful in your life in high school and stuff.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I'll be stalking you on Instagram, of course, to see
Likewise.
how everything's evolving. And we'll talk soon, okay?
Okay, sounds good. Bye.